Into the Danny, March 8th, 2026, and today we're going on an adventure from Celebration, Florida, all the way to Gainesville, Florida, for a little true crime episode. For today's true crime episode, we're going to be exploring the Gainesville Ripper, also known as Daniel Rawlings. He is the real life and the true life inspiration behind the film Scream. So we're about an hour and 15 minutes away. We're here at the Oklahoma, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Oklahoma Florida Turnpike Rest Plaza. We're making our way over to the Gainesville area. We're going to explore a little bit of the campus. We're going to explore a little bit of the true crime sites. Oh, sorry, I'm scratching my foot, my ankle. So we're going to explore some of those areas. We're going to explore some of the true crime sites of the Gainesville Ripper. Either way, like and subscribe. Let's roll. Nothing like the open road on another true crime adventure. Right now we're passing Ocala, and we're about 45 minutes away from the Gainesville area. So it's time to see the locations that inspired the movie Scream. Ocala, the land of horses. Out here in the country roads. Yep. Getting on the 2-lane country roads. Okay, here we are at the Williamsburg Apartments. We are literally down the street from the University of Florida. I'm gonna get a shot of it now off in the distance. If I wanted to, I could walk over there, but here we are at the Williamsburg Apartments, and this is the place. And again, this event, and again, I'm going to refrain from saying the K word, just because I don't want to get deplatformed or demonetized, whatever it is. Here is where the first incident took place, and I'm also not going to say the victims' names. You can go and Google that if you'd like, but this is student housing. You can tell that a lot of students do live here, but yeah, here we go. So if you can see the building's center screen, that's University of Florida. So that's how close it is to the actual university. Okay, I'm going to be reading off Google and what I was able to screenshot and what I feel is pertinent information. So the incident at Williamsburg Village Apartments in Gainesville is tied to the beginning of the 1990 Gainesville student unaliving event committed by serial criminal Danny Rawlings, also known as the Gainesville Ripper, also the inspiration behind the movie Scream. August 26, 1990, the first crime scene. 2 University of Florida students, student 1, 18 years old, student 2, I don't want to say their names, 17 years old, were roommates living in apartment 113 at the complex. In the early morning hours, Rawlings broke into their apartment while they were sleeping. He unalived them using a knife inside of their bedrooms, or their bedroom. Nature of the attack. Investigators later determined Rawlings broke in through a sliding glass door, stalked the victims inside their home, essayed them, at least one victim, and used the knife repeatedly. So yeah, pretty much that's the series of events. It was, obviously a shocking crime to this area. This is a rural area. Gainesville is rural. Everything is centered around the state college. I'm from Miami, so for me, everything is rural. Orlando's rural. But either way, this is where it all happened in the early morning hours. So we're probably talking 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So just a horrifying scene. But yeah. And again, because of that sign right there, I don't want to go over to apartment 113. Because, you know, around these areas, they take stuff like that real serious. If I was in Miami or even Orlando, I'd just walk right in. And the funny part is that if I go and I ask about the leasing specials, then I guess I'm not breaking the law. But again, like I've stated in multiple videos, I can't break the law for the video because it's just going to make it harder next time that I do want to do a video. And again, if I'm arrested for trespassing, then it's just, again, it's going to make me more scared on other videos and ruin the quality of future videos. So this is it, guys. This is the street. It's right across the street from the Commons apartments. Yeah, just a horrible event. And again, it's something that, you know, I myself have 2 daughters, so it's one of those things where this is not only this is not something that you shouldn't learn from. You know what I mean? Always protect yourself. Always be aware of your surroundings. You know, if you got kids in college, man, make sure that their doors are and their sliding doors are extra protected. Make sure they have something in the apartment to protect themselves, especially if you're in Florida. Florida is a Second Amendment friendly state. So definitely look into that if you got kids in college or away for college. Okay, we're making our way over to the courthouse where Daniel Rawling, also known as the Gainesville Ripper, where his trial took place. Gonna give you some details on that, but I stopped by walking over. I saw this mural, this painting, thought it was nice. It's right here in this little abandoned sort of like outdoor barbecue pub. If you're familiar with the University of Florida and Gainesville area, I'm by South Main Street. The courthouse is right up ahead to the right. It looks like a big area for like bars and stuff like that, but either way, let's make our way to the courthouse. Right now, this area is pretty quiet. There are people out and about, but I can imagine on game day, it probably gets absolutely crazy around here. So who knows? That might be a future video. Okay, here is the Alachua County Courthouse on South Main Street in Gainesville, Criminal Justice Center 220. Judge Stephen P. Mickle Sr. Courthouse. Daniel Rawling was tried 8th Judicial Circuit Court for Alachua County at the Alachua County Courthouse in Gainesville. The penalty phase trial in 1994, after Rawlings suddenly pled guilty, was presided over by Stan R. Morris, a circuit court judge in that court. So there it is. The specific courtroom number inside the courthouse, like courtroom 1A, 3B, is not consistently recorded in public available case summaries or appellate opinions. Here's some of the facts of what happened. November 15th, 1991, indicted. Pled guilty February 15th, 1994. The penalty phase jury recommendation, 12-0, to be sent to Florida State Prison in Rayford to meet his maker. He was sentenced for unaliving tragically unaliving 5 human beings. There's the courthouse. All right, we're crossing the street. There's another building that I saw, looks really cool, that I want to see. Let's see if we can get over there. See what that is. Wow, look at this place. Palomino cold beer and billiards. Oh, nice. I like a nice cold IPA and beat somebody in a pool, because I'm very good at that. Yep, it's full of a bunch of young college students. This is the building that I was referring to. Looks like reminds me of like a European building or something you'd see in Washington, D.C. So I wanted to come over and see what it is. But what it looks like to me is a community theater. But super cool. Would love to watch a play in there. Yep, that's what it is. Look at that. I love this brick building area. Very nice. Oh, we got a Starbucks there. Gonna go get me a little caffeinated beverage right now in honor of today being Adam the Woo celebration day. So let's do it. All right, here we go. All right, guys, off to the next location. And here's another look at the theater right next to the courthouse. The courthouse is off there in the distance, but you can just get a little bit of a feel of what it's like out here. There's another area. It's like a restaurant. Got a barbershop there. So, yeah, got a rusty chicken. All right, let's do it. Guys, I am thinking I am going to include some of the footage I was able to get from my Florida State Prison video in this video, because that's where Daniel Rawlings ultimately ended up, and thankfully so. And Eileen Wuornos were executed. I really can't get any more besides the front sign. This is according to the Department of Corrections, who I spoke with. They were the ones that said just film the front sign. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still on the street. As you can see, I'm in the car actually. Here's my mirror. But yeah, this is it. Okay, we're crossing the street to the Victims Memorial, the Daniel Rawlings Victims Memorial. Guys, we got some inclement weather coming in, but I wanted to get a shot of this wall so I can cross the street here safely. All right, here we go. I gotta move a little bit. Oh, all right, here it is. And there is the wall. There are the victims' names. Sad and unfortunate, but it is a beautiful wall. And I gotta get out of here, guys. It's gonna start raining real bad. All right, back home at base camp. I realized that I drove all the way back from Gainesville and I hadn't done the outro video. Give you my final thoughts on some of the things I was able to see up in Gainesville, and you know how it made me feel, and what do I think about doing true crime stuff going forward. Let me take a sip of this water and Alka-Seltzer. Welcome to being 39 years old and overweight. So without further ado, here are my thoughts. And before I get into that, we are here back at base camp. Pretty much where I always come to share my thoughts after a video. I know that sometimes I do share my thoughts about random stuff. It could be at the airport. I have 4 prime locations. Whenever I want to do a walk and talk. There's the airport. There's the Celebration Trail system that I use. I don't use that one often, but I'm starting to use it a little bit more. There's also the Disney hotels. I don't do that one often, but that one I will use in the future. And then there's here base camp. Okay, let me show you what base camp looks like right now. Yep, that's right, complete mess. Got luggage right here in front of me. But yeah, gotta do some tidying up tomorrow before I start my meetings, but yeah, a little bit of a project here. If you guys don't know, base camp is basically where I am going to be filming my second channel, which is the movie channel. So that's pretty much it. Let me give you my quick thoughts on today's video. You know, the little bit of research that I did do on Daniel Rawlings, the Gainesville Ripper, it is without a doubt this guy was one of the worst human beings to ever walk the earth. An absolutely disgusting animal that I don't ever want to do another video on, to be perfectly honest with you. The true crime stuff, when it comes to this channel, it's definitely not the focal point of the channel. The focal point of the channel is theme parks, food, travel, fun stuff, conventions, happy stuff. I like to switch it up. I like to get into some of the darker stuff once in a while, but yeah, this guy was a terrible, terrible, terrible human being. When I say darker stuff, I mean, I don't consider haunted houses, Halloween Horror Nights, the darker stuff, because at the end of the day, it's fictional, right? It's not for real. It may feel for real sometimes, but it's not real life like this video is. This is the real horror. And you know, and everybody knows that my two favorite genres of film are horror and drama. So definitely there'll be a lot of movie locations, horror movie locations, horror conventions, haunted houses, all that. But this is real life. And this was a video that I did, and about halfway through, I was kind of contemplating on stopping doing it, because when I read some of the stuff that this guy, when I read the details of it, it was something that I was contemplating on not doing. You know, take someone like Eileen Wuornos. Like, she was a saint. She was mild compared to this guy, and that's saying a lot. So either way, I try to always take the good out of any situation. I try to learn from these kinds of things. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have kids in college, if you have kids away, even if they're traveling or whatever they're doing, make sure that they're safe. Make sure that they take those proper steps and that they're aware of who's around their surroundings, that they're able to defend themselves, that they have something to defend themselves. I think we all know what I mean. What this guy did was he basically would have a campsite. So if you've ever been in the Central Florida area, and I consider Ocala and Gainesville the North Central Florida area, and I'm sorry, my legs are itching me. I was outside a lot today. You know, there's a lot of wooded areas amongst apartments, amongst shopping centers. So if you're in a big city, so if you're watching this from Miami or from Los Angeles, New York, or London, or wherever you're watching this video from, in big cities, you don't see that a lot. You'll see apartments, homes, shopping center, apartment. It just goes. In Central Florida, you don't really get that. You'll get like apartments, homes, big wooded area, shopping center. You go down the road, more wooded area. So Gainesville is very much like that. I would consider Gainesville a rural area, or a lot of rural area around it. So what this guy would do is he would take the Williamsburg apartments, and this is according to the police and FBI. He would make a makeshift campsite in the middle of a little wooded area by the apartment where he was stalking these women. And yeah, because that's what he would do. And he would stalk them, live in this little campsite, and then take the first event at the Williamsburg apartments, which I filmed earlier. He opened the door with he opened the sliding back door with a flathead screwdriver. He was able to pry it open and then go in and do what he did. Some of the details of what he did to the other victims and the first victims at the Williamsburg apartments and other subsequent apartment areas was absolutely horrific. He got what he deserved, and I'm glad he's no longer with us. I'll end the video with this. When it comes to true crime, I'm gonna say two things. When it comes to true crime on this channel, it'll be sparse. It won't be as often as you think. I think I've done, let's see, this one, Eileen Warnos, and I did a Ted Bundy. So, and I've made, I think, 80 something videos. So that's 3 videos out of 80 something videos. That's shorts and long form videos included. So it's going to be sparse. And I think after this one, I got one more in mind, but that's down in South Florida, and it's going to be a long time from now. I do put disclaimers before these kinds of videos, and that's pretty much it. What else? One thing that I noticed with all of these kinds of people, these kinds of horrific people, are a few common traits, and that's abusive parents, drinking and drugs, and people that just weren't loved at any point in their lives. So, you know, I don't know how many people are going to watch this video. I'm sure it's not going to be a lot, but just love your kids, man. No matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets, love your kids. I discipline my kids. I don't hit my kids, but I discipline them. I teach them. And that's to me what the role of a father is to teach, like my father did, which is teach your children about the horrors that exist out there. So when I do these videos, I feel like I'm learning more. I feel like I am trying to understand human nature more. So I try to take the good out of it. It brings me closer to my faith, brings me closer to God, brings me closer to Jesus Christ. Because when you see and you read about these things, it has a lasting impression. And let me tell you something. My girls are too young now, but when they are older, when they get into high school and they get to that 17, 18-year-old mark, they're going to learn about this 1,000%. So they know like those 2 poor young girls, they understand it's in the back of their head. That's what my father would do with me. So when they know, when if they're in college, if they they very well could end up going to Florida. They're both great students. They could end up going to FSU. They know when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and they're sitting in their apartment, or they're sitting in their dorm room, or they're coming home from a bar or from a club or whatever it is. They're hyper aware of that. They lock that door a couple times. They put a chair in front of the door. I hope at that point I am more proficient when it comes to handling a firearm. So I want to pass that on to them, and what to do if that happens. Just horrible. I mean, this guy, he used a K-bar knife. If you guys don't know what a K-bar knife is, it's the knife that Rambo uses in the movie Rambo. So imagine, it's a horror show. And again, look, the true crime stuff is something that, and I'll end the video with this, it's not like something I want to do all the time. I like to make 95% of my videos, like I have, happy, fun videos. I do like to, I think everybody has noticed now, I did the Scientology video, the Villages video. I do like to dip my toes in the controversial. And that's just the way the channel is, right? Like, travel is not always going to be happy. I think that's why people love Anthony Bourdain so much, because yes, it was mostly food and happy and travel and places, but he did talk about the controversial. He did talk about the political atmosphere of what was going on, of where he went, or what was going on in the day. Heck, Adam did it. Adam didn't do it as overtly as Anthony Bourdain, but Adam let you know what his thoughts were when it came to a lot of important things in life. So either way, I hope you guys enjoy this. Tell me down below, do you like the true crime stuff? Do you want me to keep doing it? How do you feel? How do you feel about when you watch videos like this? Thank you for watching. Please share this video, and I appreciate the support as always. See you guys tomorrow.